Magnification volume 0%.
Good afternoon, and welcome to Morning Meets EI. I'm your host, Blind Prime, and for today I have for you something different. Today I will be reviewing a blind cane, specifically this blind cane, the one that I use every day. It's made by Cris Designs, and you can visit them at crisparkdesigns.com. I have the 55 centimeter cane. I think they do it in the metrics instead of the inches. I'm not quite sure. But I wanted to talk to you about this blind cane today. So, if you don't mind, please go below and do all the things that everyone else asks you to do. And, well, let's get right into it. So, here we go. Here's the cane right here. It's quite a wondrous little guy. We'll get the measurement pad out, and we'll talk about its length whenever it's enclosed. I mean, we know the length when it's extended, and it's 55 whatevers. So, here we go. It's 32. It's exactly 32 studs long. And that's going to be... So, I usually use a 52-inch cane, and this thing isn't much different from that. It's just a bit longer, but at the end of the day, it's basically the same. The cool thing about the fiber optic cane, well, this is not fiber optic, it's carbon fiber, is it's lightweight. This thing is insanely lightweight. It's really cool. You can balance it. It's pretty neat. And you can spin it around your hand. You can do a lot of things with it. The best part about it is you can put this guy in your pocket. Now, for you, the seeing out there, the people who don't have a blind cane, the thing that you don't know is that these things are a pain to carry around. Whenever you sit down at the restaurant, you've got to take this long aluminum or steel or carbon fiber segmented cane, and you got to take it and you got to pull each individual piece out with it from its elastic cord and fold it over. And then you pull it out, fold it over. You ever put a tent together? It's not much different than putting a tent together when it comes to those bars that have the elastic inside of them. The same exact rules apply for a blind cane. And you can imagine like walking around with one of those long tent poles. You're tapping away at it, and then when you go into the restaurant and you want to sit down, well, you got to fold up that long tent pole, and what are you left? You're left with a big old bundle of sticks just sitting there by your feet. Now, I'd call it something different, but the term for bundle of sticks has changed over the years, so we'll just continue with bundle of sticks. The thing about this cane, though, is this is what's known as a collapsing cane. It's telescopic. Telescopic meaning like a telescope. And you can grab it and pull it and extend it out. Telescopic canes are where it's at. They allow you to extend the cane and get around in urban areas quite well. But at the same time, when lines build up, or if you get in a confined space or you're on a bus or something like that, in typical urban area scenarios where you're surrounded by people, you can pull the cane closer to you, and because it's a collapsing cane, let's get an explanation going here. So we're going to harden up the middle bits. There we go. There we go. We're just going to harden up these. So actually, just these three. Right here. Just these three will get hardened for the sake of this argument. So, whenever it's hardened, this cane sits and does like this. But at the same time, when you hit something, it normally will jolt you. Like, if this thing were to bump into something, it will jolt your arm back. But, because it's a telescoping, you can take this and then you pop it. You just pop it once. Whenever you unfold your cane completely, you pop it on the ground. What is this now? Why, I think this is a shock absorber. Oh my God, it is. It's a piston. It's shock absorption. This way, whenever you're tapping your way down the street and you hit an obstacle, your arm isn't going to get jolted back. Instead, what you're going to feel is the cane moving forwards without moving forwards. And you're going to feel this in your hand, because the nice thing about carbon fiber is carbon fiber, it telegraphs vibration very well. Whenever I'm tapping it here lightly, I can feel it all the way down to my pinky in the other hand. If I extend the cane out and I were to tap on this side, I can feel it on the handle. Just light taps, barely anything. It's really cool like that. The only downside of these canes is the fact that they're fragile because they are carbon fiber. But because they're carbon fiber, they're pretty easy to purchase. They're not too expensive, and I mean they'll run you about the same price as the old Isla canes that were collapsing carbon fiber canes. And but these are a bit slimmer and they handle better. The best part about them, in my opinion, is this end cap. So on the normal collapsing carbon fiber canes, this end bit right here, this little nubbin at the end, it's actually pure Teflon. This thing would be flush. It wouldn't even have a ridge right there. This thing goes from the bowl tip to a ridge, and then upwards again, and then downwards again to where it connects. All this would have been flush with the end. It's all flush with my old canes. That sucked because whenever you're in Florida like I am, it's wet all the time here, and when this cane gets wet, it gets a little slippery. And so you're sitting there, you're trying your best to pull this end out without getting your finger too muddy, and it's just annoying. But with this design, you put your hand on the lower bit of the cane, you put your thumb on that crook, and then you twist and you pull, or pull and push. You pull with one hand while pushing with the other one, and you get the cane out. And it's much easier. It's much easier to do. And in addition to that, these canes, like I said, do fold up quite well in your pocket. You can keep them pretty well discreet. So when you're at that restaurant, like I said, with the normal canes, you'd be putting a bundle of sticks down on the floor. With this cane, it just slips right in your pocket. You could just sit down at the table, and I'll do it standing so we can catch it on the camera, but yeah, you just slip it in. And this is a normal male pants pocket. You see how much sticks out? Not that much at all. Only the black area, which is the rough textured area, so you can get a better grip. It's like grippy tape, sticks out of the top. And that's the perfect amount you want, because that's where your hand's going. Now, I'll spin around for you guys. I generally put my cane in the back pocket where most people would put a cell phone. But my cell phone always goes in my front pocket, and the cane always goes in my back pocket. That way, I can easily reach the cane with my right hand without much problem. Because my left frontmost pocket's usually filled with keys and other stuff. I've got a pocket system going. Yeah, guys, this cane has helped me out a lot throughout the years. Not this specific cane, but the carbon fiber telescoping cane design. Whenever I discovered it, I was having difficulties because of the fact I was living in a college town. I was going to school every day, and I had to start using this aluminum cane. And then every time I went to school, I'd have to fold it up and put it in my backpack. And then I'd have to get it out of my backpack and unfold it. And it was always just a pain. And then I realized, well, there's going to be a day when I'm not in school anymore. There's going to be a day whenever I don't have a backpack on my back all the time. Where can I get a Daredevil cane? Daredevil doesn't have these problems. Daredevil puts his cane in his suit pocket. It folds up into a little handle. Where can I get a Daredevil cane? Gosh darn it, I want a Daredevil cane. And so I looked, I searched, I scoured the world for telescoping canes. And I found them. It took me a few years. I'll be honest. They're not something easy to find if you don't even know where to begin. And even the Department of Blind Services couldn't help me out really with it. I had to get to the Independent Living Association's website, go into their canes. And, this was before I lost the majority of my vision, so I could still see pictures. And then I had to look at pictures of every single solitary cane until I found it. And when I found it, I purchased it myself, and then I took it to DBS, and I showed it off. It showed them where they could find it on the internet and told them exactly what I liked about it. And since then, they've barely shown this off to other blind people, and it really upsets me. This can save a lot of blind urbanites. This can help a lot of blind urbanites. But does anybody ever talk about it? No. And it really grinds my gears. It really upsets me that I've done a lot of work to try and push this carbon fiber collapsing cane on as many blind people as possible, because I see their problem. I see the solution to their issue. You know, and it's difficult for change to occur. I mean, that's one of the reasons I made this channel, is to help change occur. And the change I want to see occur in amongst the blind population of at least the United States, and I really hope the rest of the world is more use of carbon fiber canes. Yes, now for rural areas, you got a lot of farmlands, you got a lot of dirt roads, this is not your friend. You need to stick to the old aluminum canes, or actually, I found that there are steel telescoping canes. They have taken those telescoping canes that hikers use so that they can, have nice hiking canes, and they put a little round thing on the bottom of it and gave it a different shaped handle and called it a telescoping steel blind cane. I have one of those for whenever I go into the woods. And what I do with that is the same thing I do with this. I extend it out all the way, and then I pop the first one in so that I can have that extra suspension. And that really helps out in the woods too. So anyone using a rigid cane, which is the term for a folding cane that slots into place with a bunch of little sticks, a rigid cane doesn't work well in the woods. It doesn't work well. Every time you hit a bump or anything, your elbow is going to get shoved into your gut, because they teach you when you're using a cane to hold the arm directly in front of you, in front of your belly button. So whenever you get struck by a rock or a log that's in the path that pushes your cane back, you gotta just keep hitting yourself in the gut. Now, it really helps out when it comes to constant testing for appendicitis. Because the thing about appendicitis is whenever you hit yourself in the gut and you have appendicitis, you're going to fold over and scream because it's going to hurt so much. So that's a good thing, At least blind people can test for appendicitis. But I'd rather, not. And I'd rather more blind people have the comfort that I have. And that's why I'm making this video, is to explain to you that these collapsing canes can be worth it. And they are worth it. And they are something that I wish strongly more blind people would utilize in their day-to-day activities in rural settings, urban settings, and using the steel telescoping canes for rural settings. Telescoping canes are the future of blindness when it comes to getting around and walking around places. Rigid canes are a thing of the past. Those stupid sticks that all fold together, that's old tech. That is trash. It's time for the new thing. And the new thing is telescoping. So, you see a blind person using one of those old stick-shaped rigid canes, you inform them that telescoping canes exist. You pull out your phone and show them this YouTube video. Let them know that CrisParkDesigns.com makes telescoping canes. Let them know that the Department of Blind Services here in America can help them achieve a CrisParkDesign.com cane. Let them know that these things exist, because they may not know. They may not have even had the assumption that something like this exists. They're probably in the dark. And yes, that is partly a blindfold. And you can help them. And I hope that I can help them too. So please help me help them by introducing them to one of the greatest canes that I've ever owned in my entire life of being a blind person. Let them know that telescoping canes exist. Let them know that they can purchase them on the internet. Let them know that they can go to their local blind assistance center and they will help them. And they will purchase it for them. And the blind people don't even have to spend a cent. That's all for now. Until next Pride.